Welcome back today. Today's a really exciting day. It's me, Michael.
Martin here.
Today we have a lot to share with you guys, and this is the OG share. This is the OG share because we're gonna talk a lot about Bitcoin. There's a lot to do on the Bitcoin network, and there's a lot to look at in terms of getting both airdrops and, of course, opportunities. Aren't you excited?
Sounds exciting. Hope you guys are excited as we are. So, since you've left, Michael,
Yeah.
a bunch of our viewers have made a lot of money
Nice.
from Move, from Deepbook. I mean, we hear all the stories.
Four-figure airdrops.
Four-figure, even 5 figures with some of the viewers over here.
My God.
So, this was a comment someone made, one of our regular viewers. They said that, hey, if everyone just tuned in and just grind for the next 6 to 8 months, we'd all have 6 figures right now.
Of course. And I think it's like beyond expectations too, because like honestly, sometimes airdrops you get small ones. I mean, just logged on Twitter. So people are getting these, are getting thousands of move. So Ron was nonstop posting these. Today we're gonna share some that's explicitly on Bitcoin. It's actually very interesting because currently, right now,
How are we looking?
Oh, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. So we got a good question here. So this is from Cherry Wall. He says, "Hey Michael, if you were to start your crypto journey all over again in 2014, how would you do it?" Really, really good question.
Awesome.
And it really depends, but I would say airdrop is in the front, middle, and center of everything. The reason why is because of this, right? Because you can really, it's time commitment rather than financial commitment.
And that's actually something you have to trade off, right?
Yeah.
When you don't have much liquidity, when you don't have much funds, what do you have?
Yeah.
Well, you might as well spend
Time.
a lot of time.
You have time. You have time, right? All you have is time, right? And it doesn't hurt to have a Move airdrop that's in, like how much is Move right now? Yeah, 60 cents. So if you just got this for free, if you're eligible and you got this for free, that's $3,600 US dollars, right? This could be someone's monthly wage. And think about this. This is magic internet money falling straight onto your lap, right? So not only is it like airdrops that you're getting, but you're also getting into a lot of coins. You're getting a lot of knowledge. So it's time and you get well rewarded. But of course, airdrops are not guaranteed, right? So what are airdrops? They're just coins that projects give out for their loyal community members, right? So you have to prove that you're a loyal community member. You have to put in that time to say, hey, we are loyal. We will follow you guys. We will be part of your community. And then, okay, please give us some money, right? Rewards. And the one that we're talking about today is really centered around Rootstock. So there's a whole new ecosystem coming up. And what makes me really excited about Rootstock is that I have direct access to Bitcoin, right? And by making Bitcoin more useful, by attracting some of the Bitcoin money, they're going to attract billions of dollars. That's the key. So you guys know Bitcoin has been exploding. If you just look at the Bitcoin price, right?
$105,000.
This is what's making me excited. And even if I'm new and not new, right, this is for you. So Bitcoin ecosystem has been one of my primary focuses. And the reason why is because the market cap of Bitcoin is $2 trillion, right? And a simple 1% increase on Bitcoin is $10 billion. And we need to spread that value out. So Rootstock is really interesting. They're doing what Ethereum did, but on Bitcoin. Right now, there's actually a lot that's happening on the Rootstock ecosystem. So now you can actually get RBTC. So this is their Rootstock-based BTC. And you can actually directly start using that and start trading that. So this is what's really developing in the Rootstock ecosystem right now. And personally, I'm telling you guys because I see this opportunity for both of you guys. Airdrops, number one. Second is ecosystem, all right? If you're there early, that's when the explosion happens, all right?
So you mentioned briefly about how Rootstock is a sidechain for Bitcoin, and they are trying to basically do what Ethereum does.
Yes. So I guess from a very high level perspective, when Bitcoin was designed, it was designed not to have that many moving parts, right? So Bitcoin also has code that it can run, but a lot of it's actually not Turing complete, and it doesn't run every type of code. So Bitcoin on its network, you can't build a bank on Bitcoin, but you can build a bank on Ethereum.
Yeah.
All right. So you can build smart contracts and smart money. but Bitcoin by itself doesn't support so many features. And a lot of these features are turned off for safety, for the protection of Bitcoin users, which is why Bitcoin is the safest network because it has the least functionality. But at the same time, by not being so functional, you can't build DeFi on top of that. You can't build all these applications. So people were talking about how do we get these features that were on Ethereum and bring that into Bitcoin ecosystem. And that's why Rootstock's invented. Rootstock kind of fills a need for Bitcoiners to send their crypto. So let's just talk about how to get onto Rootstock first and foremost. There's really two ways. One of the simplest ways is using something like PowPeg. You can directly connect up your Bitcoin wallet and get your RBTC. So you bridge between Bitcoin and RBTC. So say for something like this, you go very closely, you can link up your MetaMask, connect it up here, all right, and confirm. And then you can use your Ledger. Say for example, you have a Ledger or a Trezor wallet, you can link that up and it can directly transfer your Bitcoin or bridge your Bitcoin from Bitcoin network to the Rootstock network. So that's number one way of doing it. And why am I doing this? Why do I think it's quite important? Is because number one, you're learning how to use Rootstock. You're getting that exposure. Second is the airdrops. So right now, Rootstock has two campaigns that they're doing. So Rootstock has its own Bitcoin Genesis countdown. All right, that's happening in 17 days. Right, so there's Galaxy Quest, get your RBTC, get your transactions. So that's already live, and it's $100,000 with daily task win. So that's one of the airdrops that's available. We talked about this airdrop in a little bit more detail in our previous videos, but the second campaign that they're doing is around the exchanges. So like say for example, there's a sushi quest that's going on right now that has additional rewards. That's not just part of the 10K, but there's an additional reward for Sushi Swap, for Aku. So all of these are giving away their own trading competition and their own rewards. So that's why you want to have a little bit of exposure to RBTC and the whole network there. So that's kind of the current situation that's going on. So interacting on chain, providing on chain evidence that you know how to use this and you have trade volume, that's actually quite important for being part of an active community, right? It's not just about the amount that they're giving out, but also about using the network. Because if you use a network, if you are there early, you really become part of the community. And we know as airdrop hunters that we want to be part of the community early, right? We want to have the on-chain evidence that says, okay, I'm an early user. I've been trading on there. Yeah. This thing works really well. But if you're there contributing and making that network better, you know, somewhere down the road, people will want to reward you. People will want to reward. It might not even be a Rootstock themselves. It might be memes or whatever that's going on there. They want to reward the early users because they know that the early supporters will give you the most help. All right, so that's my 2 cents on this. Very, very early still. And yeah, just tell me what coins you guys are in, what coins you are on. I just saw a comment from Sebastian says, where are you guys in regards to FTM and Sonic? My God, FTM has been performing. Yep. Oh my God, I've been looking at it and it's just non-stop up. Phantom, there's so much going on because of the upgrade and because of the community interest. Phantom is up 16% today. I will switch over to Bubbles very soon. But man, I'm excited for Phantom. I actually have a relatively large position on Phantom. So Phantom, Avalanche. What else is there? There's VeChain. Man, there's quite a lot of coins that have significant holdings because I do believe that they are going to take, the narrative is going to take this run, especially it's Algorand as well. So I'm actually really, really excited for what's happening. Especially look at this, right? It had a rally up, and now we're at this all-time high.
All-time high, yeah.
Okay, not the all-time high, but we're approaching all-time high of the last year, and the price has just exploded. And I still remember buying some early at 60 cents, thinking, "Oh my God, I'm getting in late." But no, this narrative is really taking off, and the Sonic migration is happening really soon, and everything is going to be faster there. So that's going to be really exciting as well. So just to answer your question, I'm really excited for what's happening with Phantom.
There you go, Sebastian.
Dark Pulse says Soy and Solana. I think the altcoin narrative has not at all begun yet, which is why we're looking into it. We don't want to get into it late because, I mean, at the end of the day, Bitcoin will take a lot to move. Even though it's moving aggressively, Bitcoin, for the Bitcoin run to continue, for Bitcoin to reach 1 million, it's going to be really difficult because it's going to be a 10x, right? So that's gonna make its market cap $20 trillion.
20 trillion.
But for other coins that are a little bit smaller, they have a lot of potential here as well, especially since we're talking about really new technologies that can really change the world and how even we see things.
So I watched your video on the top narratives of crypto.
Yep.
And by the way, this is just me selfishly trying to extract knowledge from you.
Yeah, exactly.
You mentioned Bitcoin narrative.
Yeah.
You mentioned meme coins. And you mentioned
RWAs.
Yeah. Is there anything in the RWA side that you've been looking at recently?
Obviously, Mantra is really hot. All right. So RWAs really is interesting in the sense that this is an industry that can be trillions of dollars. BlackRock is super interested in it. And then I think the space has not really hasn't fully exploded yet, which is why opportunities are coming. So just take a look at Mantra, for example, right? Mantra was a coin we've been talking about 60 cents. And at that point, we're like, oh, should we really do a video? It was exploding. Look at the growth of Mantra here. We were like thinking, it's getting some traction. But at the same time, when we do videos, we're like, okay, look, we don't want to talk about something that's overhyped. But at the same time, we saw what they're doing, and we're like, okay, look, in terms of what they're doing, right, this is worth the hype. And it turns out the market responded and said, hey, guess what? It can explode even more, a lot more than what you think. And why is that narrative so hot? Is because of just how much value that could be put on blockchain. So with Mantra, they're building a huge base with Dubai real estate, right? They're talking with the government officials in Dubai to basically pave the way for real estate to be put onto the blockchain. And that's a lot of money because anything that's involved real assets, we know the stock markets, those are $1 trillion market stocks, real estate, even, if JP's favorite example will be Pokemon cards, right? Having anything that's real world, but traded on blockchain, 24-hour trade, immediate access to DeFi. These are a lot of functionality being added on top of that. Now, I do have one that's actually quite interesting. That's Lingo. So Lingo is actually doing something very, very similar to Mantra DAO. So they start off with reward tokens, but they move straight into and deeply ingrain themselves into the RWA space as well. So they're doing the TGEU right now at this current point. And it's exciting to see all these new projects saying, okay, look, let's have a slice of that Mantra pie.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, why not, right? They're essentially building out a foothold with reward systems. And then, of course, once that happens, they can start linking the RWA side to it. So yet again, it's actually quite interesting how that user acquisition strategy works. So by building in a strong user base first, and then you have the 8 million people who can trade tokenized assets. That's really strong. Right. So I think this is quite interesting. So that right now that's actually going on right now. So you can actually start earning and claiming. So that you guys actually can check out what's happening there. So
cool. So 8 million users, $15 million raised.
Yeah, it's not bad. So if you look about it, they're looking at they're listing at sub 100 mil right now. So that's what's kind of interesting right now in terms of this stuff. But of course, as with anything here, this is like the raising, and anything during the raising phase, you guys probably know this is not financial advice, but also it's extremely risky. I know that the problem with crypto is like sometimes we touch on projects that are not launched, and some of them do fail. So we just want to put a disclaimer out there, like not everything can work, but what attracted us to this one personally was because they had a huge base in there. Cool. So RWAs. Greece. All right, we got Giorgio says good morning from Greece. But yes, the market is extremely strong, especially with what's happening over on the States side. We know that Donald Trump's saying, they want US to be the #1 in terms of crypto. And that means reversing all those bad regulations, that the regulatory hurdles. And then, of course, what's happening, I see a general trend that's happening, is that Hong Kong's also responding. I just saw
Crypto Hong Kong.
A news article yesterday. So Hong Kong is trying really hard to position itself as a global hub. So all of a sudden we see all these posts saying, Hong Kong, they're doing emergency meetings as well. You know why? It's because the Americans, they are making crypto-friendly policies, right? And then all of a sudden around the world, all the other financial hubs are saying, okay, if America's doing that, right, we got to do it too.
Yeah.
But I see that FOMO coming in. I see these emergency meetings. Like, so Hong Kong is very interesting. We're based in Hong Kong right now. 3 years ago, we'll be afraid to talk about crypto in Hong Kong, right? Because of just the ban. They said blanket wide, ban the shit, get the shit out of here. We don't want crypto. We're not crypto friendly. Go to Singapore, have fun, right?
Yeah.
And we saw the exchanges one by one moving from Hong Kong to Singapore. But all of a sudden now there's FOMO, right? Hong Kong, the SFC came about and said, okay, look, our regulation, our system's not clear enough, right? We need to give some more regulatory clarity. Like what they proposed last year was not good enough. This year, they allowed the virtual banks. So say, for example, Hong Kong ZA Bank, they officially allowed retail crypto trading in November. So yet again, it's mainstream. Before the policies in Hong Kong were geared just to institutional users, and they realized, okay, that's not good enough. They're talking about this gap as well, this infrastructure gap between the institutional customers and the retail customers, because retail wants to come in.
Retail does want to come in.
And then they want the protection. They want the government to move. So it's a big change, and I see this happening around the world as well. It's a competition right now because in Dubai, I have a lot of friends in Dubai who are just talking about, okay, like how do we make retail happen? How do we make crypto happen? How do we lead this yet again? Because they know that if they lead this, they can tax it for the next 10, 100 years.
Yeah.
Right? Think about the U.S. stock market, how strong that is. The U.S. stock market is super strong. Everyone wants to go there. Even the Chinese want to list on the U.S. stock market, but that's not happening. And the U.S., of course, Trump says they might use Bitcoin as a reserve, and then MicroStrategy is hinting at purchasing above 100K. So even though Bitcoin is at 100K right now,
he's still buying.
He's still buying, right? Because we're not just looking at the 1 year. Some people look at 1 month horizon, but not a 1 year, but a 1 year, 5 year horizon. But like think about it in 20 years.
20 years, exactly.
Right? That's the scary part.
Decades.
All right, guys. With that, guys, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I'll be back next week with you guys, and we'll have a really great return back party. And
no worries.
It'll be fun.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. See you guys later.
Peace.
Peace.